All right, guys, we are back. Sorry for the delay. Welcome to episode number 149 of the TXR Podcast, Take 2. And yeah, guys, we were just working out some audio problems. I think we've straightened out everything now from the looks of it, as it's taking time for us to go live. Let's see here. I just want to make sure everything is coming through good.
Invader, why do you sound so sad? You sound like you're gonna cry or something.
Well, that's because I have to listen to you.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly, man. I have to listen to your bitching all the time. Invader, you sound like Invader. Oh, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
I'm just kidding, Jeremy.
Speak the truth.
Guys, thank you for rejoining us. This is fantastic. Mike, how's everything sounding at your end?
So far, so good. Little hot on the Skype side, but not. I'm not hearing any of the echoes and stuff.
All right.
Well, that's good.
Fantastic. And whoever's in the chat, definitely let us know how the audio's coming through. Help us out there. That would be fantastic. All right. Earlier, we gone through to Centurion and Megatron. Shockley, I think we had started talking to you. How's things at your end, bud?
Oh, pretty good. Other than I think I was left off on that Mario 3D package. I was hype about that. Did get my Secret Labs chair finally. Ordered it in fucking July. So that finally arrived.
I'm still waiting for that Cyberpunk chair.
Oh yeah, did you even order?
You ordered one?
I tried ordering it, but they're sold out everywhere. So I'm still waiting to be on the email list.
Wow.
July, so I said, screw that. I got a cat. That ain't gonna work because it has some of that leather. So,
Dude, I feel your pain. I brought this chair into my house, and these two cats have been battling over who gets to tear it up.
well, I did find a really good cover. I put the link down there when you get your Secret Labs chair. Fits it perfectly. So if you do have pets, it's good to cover it up. And
cool.
I'm a hater. I don't want Downer to get the Cyberpunk chair because I want it. And I've been trying to get it. I'm on the email list, and I have gotten not one email yet. So that's it. Just I'm selfish. Sorry.
So what's going to happen first? Are you going to get emailed for a PS5 or for a chair?
I think I'd rather have the chair because I can always get the PS5. And I'm not going to PS5.
You heard it right here first, everybody. Megatron would rather get a chair than a PS5.
Because of the limited quantities, ladies and gentlemen. That's why.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, that chair that you posted, Shock in the group DM. Damn, it looks really sharp. I gotta say, like, I don't know. You're making me kind of want to get one. So.
it's definitely worth the money, and yeah, you can just return it. So yeah, give it a trial run, see if it's worth it.
All right, definitely good to know. And Jeremy, I mean, obviously we're going through some technicalities at the beginning, but otherwise, buddy, how's your weekend been?
Man, I got a chance to rest finally and play games. Whoa!
Damn, that's like...
I've still been trying to finish that God of War on PlayStation, and heard it's a pretty long game. I'm probably about 10 hours into it, probably like.
You just muted yourself, or you're muted now. You're saying you're 10 hours, and then he just got, there he is.
Wow.
Even Skype just want to hear your BS, Jeremy. I'm sorry. He's muted again.
This is crazy. This thing's all jacked up. We're going overdrive right now. Sorry.
Overdrive, yeah. But
right.
What were you playing, Jeremy?
God of War.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That's not an Xbox game.
All right, guys. Again, guys, we're just bear with us. We're moving on to some new things, greener pastures, and as you can tell, very greener pastures from our screen. We got some gameplay going on and a few other things. Vermintide 2. This is some gameplay with me and a friend. Really fun game, by the way. I love. I'm a huge Warhammer guy. And Vermintide 2 just really scratches that co-op itch. But you know what, guys? We will head straight into a topic. And the first topic will be, well, some pretty recent news. And Nvidia announced their new GeForce RTX 3000 series graphic cards. And they've been really impressing a lot of people with their specs and price points. Now, the big thing in here is that some are saying that the next-gen console, Xbox Series X, and PlayStation 5 are already obsolete with these cards, even before release. I personally think it's a case of apples and oranges, but Centurion, I know you've been following this, like, really closely. What do you think? Are next-gen consoles really affected by this announcement?
Well, of course they're affected. We all know that there's a GPU door in the back of every television. You just reach in there and change the damn thing out like, you know, you're putting in a lamp in your house. It's no big deal. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I troll that photo going around that shows a GPU hooked into the television, and then when they got called out for there being no power supply, all of a sudden somebody went and like fixed their thing and put a power supply on it, and then it reemerged again. So anyways, no, it does not make consoles irrelevant. We were talking about how the 2080 is going to come out at like around $700, and this 3090, yeah, I'm sorry, not 2080, 3080, and then the 3090 is going to be like somewhere around $1,500. Like you could buy,
that's insane.
like you could buy a jalopy for a GPU. Like I'm just like, really, for real, like.
What are the differences, real quick?
Well, they're saying this thing is pretty powerful. They're saying this thing is like twice as powerful as a 2080. There's a lot of numbers in all this. This is why I never got into PC gaming. I understand what they're trying to do and the math behind it. But yeah, I mean, like they're saying it's twice the power of the 2080. But one thing that's really interesting, what makes these cards so special at what they do is the machine learning that's inside them. And somebody already tried to come out on Twitter and say that the PS5 was using the same stuff that's Nvidia, even though the PS5 and the Series X were built on total AMD tech. So don't listen to any of that if they're trying to say that. I think it's called Invader. Call me if I'm right. Isn't it like SSID or SSLD or something that Nvidia uses for their machine learning?
Yeah, it's
they were trying to say that the PS5 was going to use a variant of that, and that's when they were like, that's impossible because you're talking about an NVIDIA product versus an AMD product. AMD actually does have machine learning. That is in the RDNA 2 spec. Now, this is where it gets quite interesting. That's what makes these cards so special. I've been talking about machine learning since I found out about it in February. When Microsoft came out with all this cool stuff like DirectX 12 or ray tracing, as what we are starting to call it. So Microsoft also invented at the same time something known as DirectML, direct machine learning. It's their own in-house way of doing what these cards do. So they're trying to basically say that these cards now make these consoles obsolete because of this machine learning. What's really interesting, what gets left out of the conversation, is Microsoft has already come out and confirmed that the Series X uses an RDNA 2 Plus component. And this Plus component allows for machine learning to be used in the chip. One thing that has come out about the PS5 is it does use RDNA 2. But one thing that they have not come out and clarified is if their RDNA 2 is RDNA 2 Plus. If it's just base RDNA 2, it does not have machine learning in it. So basically what machine learning does is it takes a low resolution 1080p image, and through an artificial intelligence, it reconfigures that kind of like checkerboarding, and it basically makes the image into a 4K image that is actually more clearer than a native 4K image. It actually does a better job. And because of that, it's actually a little bit less wear and tear on the GPU because you're not forcing a 4K image through the GPU. You're actually forcing a 1080p image through the GPU, and the artificial intelligence comes in and makes up the difference. And when I've seen the night and day differences from these images, I mean, it's amazing. That's why everybody's talking about these GPUs, because it looks really, really damn clear. But that's the funny part, is it's being left out that the Series X actually has machine learning. So the Series X is capable of doing what these new GPUs can, and it's actually being rated as one of the most untalked about features of the Series X.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good to me with all that
chatted your ear off.
Oh no, I think everybody was just listening into all the information because there's a lot to go through with all this. Again, I mean, I do enjoy going through technicalities, but at the same time, with all these specs, there is a lot of information to go through. And honestly, I see people like, pounding chests. Oh, this is going to be the end. But then when I look at price points, right?
Oh yeah, this is going to be the end because my wife is going to go out and let me drop $1,500 on one component.
Yeah,
dude, to build the PC they're talking, I would probably have to make a bullet point presentation for my wife on how I would want to spend this kind of money.
Well, PC is always going to be ahead of the game in terms of the graphics department. That's been going on since day one, pretty much. And that's never going to go away. But I personally prefer playing on consoles because, number one, you guys both know it's more affordable and it's more accessible, and to the average Joe, the average Joe prefers console over PC for the same reasons pretty much. But both the Xbox Series X and PS5 are going to be, they're going to be powerhouses and they're going to rival PCs, even these big giant ones. Yeah, I mean, it's going to cost an arm and a leg to get these, but you probably won't see a huge difference in fidelity right off the bat. Yes, probably later on you'll see more leaps and bounds, but, right off the bat, you're not going to see it. But if you're a hardcore gamer like we are, we're going to have those powerful PCs and all the consoles. So really, I mean, it's just the average Joe that's going to be left behind on that front because they just simply can't afford it, or they're not going to invest into something like that. So,
can I also add on real quick, Downer, that I love how I love how everybody's talking about this resolution thing, like, oh, next gen is here, resolution. If we all go off of the math that is starting to occur with other consoles and other opinions, resolution is no longer a thing, and it's true. If you look at the true next-gen titles, and when I say true next-gen titles, just to let you guys know, Spider-Man Miles Morales is not in that conversation. So you guys can at me about that later. But anyways, when it comes to like Ratchet and Clank, The Medium, and Scorn, and games like that, it is because they are utilizing the new hard drives in these consoles, and that is what's making them next gen. Because they are not utilizing a mechanical slow hard drive, and they aren't even using an SSD. They're using a new form of SSD, which is even quicker, which means unless you have one of these hard drives in your computer, you will never get that experience on either the PS5 or the Xbox Series X unless you're using one of those hard drives. That is what's making them next gen. So why is everybody up on resolution when you are not getting a game right now for next gen that is pushing resolution?
Mm-hmm. No, and you're absolutely correct. But I mean, what's frustrating is we don't know what the console prices are just yet, but I'm pretty sure we can bank on them being at least under $600, right? Hopefully.
Even if it's 600,
I saved up 600 per. That's what I did.
Well, even if it's 600, even if you compare it to the 3070, which I think everybody's was surprised on because it's equivalent to the 2080 Ti, Nvidia was saying. It's still, you need to spend, after all your other components, the OS, you're still going to be hitting 1,000 easy.
Yeah, easy.
Even if you go on the low end, you're going to hit 1,000. if not maybe 1,300. So it's not the same. Even if it's 500 or 600 for a PS5 or Xbox Series X, that's still way cheaper. So, even if I played Sekiro on Steam, and I couldn't even use my mouse and keyboard or controller until I downloaded a PS4 or a DualShock 4 controller layout. I had to do that. I couldn't even use it on Steam. So there's going to be trouble shooting periods where casuals are not going to mess with. They're going to say, fuck this the first time it happens, and they're going back to console. So this whole thing of like, oh, no, it's this is a huge blow to them. It's really not.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, Shockley, if I'm not as good as with PCs as you are, but to fully use one of these cards, you would have to have like a substantial cooling unit for your PC. In which cases, a lot of people would use like a liquid cooled PC to actually use these cards completely opened up to their full potential.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about all that because I mean, the PC I have right now is pre-built with the 1070, but I've been itching to build my own PC. So this is great for me because I'm like, oh, sweet. I didn't buy it too early, like, 2 months ago, like some people did buy 2080 Ti and now are, feeling, buyer's, remorse on that one.
Now they're obsolete.
So I'm definitely for that 3080 because, for 700, that's not too much more and you get like double the performance. So I'm ecstatic about them. It's pretty sweet. But to say that it's like, these are obsolete. Well, I mean, they're always going to be obsolete. PC's always going to be number one. That because you can throw so much money at it. And even if you're not having the SSD, I mean, anybody putting a 3080 in there is going to have SSD, but still, you get the high frame rate. So that's what I'm excited with the 3080. Is not so much I'm going to be playing on a 1440p monitor, but I'm going to be cranking up everything to ultra and as high as a frame per second, that I could go. I got a 144 hertz monitor, so I'm going to be trying to push that as much as I can. So,
oh my gosh,
so you're sold. So you're sold. You're getting one of these.
I was already about to get a 2070 Super, and then for that same price, I can get a 3080. So, like,
see, for me, the only thing I never got into the PC gaming side of it. The only thing I have is a 2700, and that's just purely to run Adobe. And I mean, when you hear that thing kick up just to run Adobe, I can only imagine what some of these GPUs sound when they're like full bore, pretty much maxed out.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go ahead probably in the next couple months to just max out my rig on everything. I'm looking upwards to spend over $3,000 on my own PC. So
I've actually done some reading for now. You want to talk about obsolete? You guys want to think about what's made some stuff obsolete? These new memory solutions that the Series X and the PS5 are pushing are actually making RAM and SSDs become obsolete. And they're saying within the next, I read within the next 4 to 6 months, you're going to see a major price dip in stuff like RAM and SSD hard drives. So, Downer, if you're thinking about doing stuff like that, I'm already seeing in some of the stuff I'm reading that if you wait just a few months, you're going to get this stuff at a fraction of the cost because of these new solutions that they're coming out with that are in these consoles.
Yeah, RAM in general is not too expensive. I mean, that's probably the least of your worries. You're going to spend more on the graphics card.
Well, they're talking if you want to go buy like the high end like Samsung RAM chips, like your name brand stuff. It's going to be a lot cheaper to buy it because of all the stuff coming out.
Yeah.
I don't know, Jeremy. You went Gears of War there. You said General RAM. Boom, boom.
I thought it was General ROM.
I'm making a RAM joke. Come on. I know it's kind of corny, but come on.
Nobody gets Canadian humor. Get out of here.
Nobody
Oh
gets
my
Montana
goodness.
humor, buddy.
And after all that you guys said, all that technical stuff, this is why I prefer gaming on console, because I do not want to deal with no cooling systems and CPUs and RAM. I just want to turn on my Xbox and just grab my
And
controller.
that's why I said
Thank
it's
you,
just it's more accessible and more affordable, and I just prefer console gaming.
Well,
I
that's
want a PC for streaming. I do want to do that. I want to go to that level, but as far as everything else, man, I can care less. I'm excited for the new tech, but I'm not going to be using it. I just want to see what my PS5 and my Xbox Series X is going to do. That's it, man. Call me lame. I'm just so console, man. I grew up on consoles. I game on consoles. I'm not good with keyboard and mouse, and I don't want to have to download anything for my controller to work.
I can't even get fucking Skype to work on this shit.
Yeah, right. See, I'm right there with you, Megatron. I mean, you're going to be able to do it for a fraction of the cost. We're talking about a machine that was completely optimized to run with the equipment that you have. See, that's one thing people also underestimate, is that graphics card is meant to do a number of things. It's meant to run video editors. It's meant to play games. It's meant to do this. It's meant to do that. The Series X, the GPU inside of it is going to be optimized towards the hardware that it's integrated into. So it does have a distinct advantage in that one fact, and it's going to make the games, like Downer said, a lot more accessible. People are just going to be able to play these games and go.
Listen, I am interested in the machine learning. To me, it was always about the lighting, ray tracing. You hear about ray tracing, SSD, and I think machine learning gave a great explanation of what it was. But I think that is really interesting. You
I'm
never
with
got that out of me.
I'm with you, Megatron. I still don't understand machine learning as far as the pixel goes. I mean, Centurion, does it affect the pixel count since those pixels are coming in at 1080, meaning they can push more pixels on the actual?
From what I've learned, it's basically like checkerboarding, because the idea of checkerboarding is to take one pixel and is to cut it into 4 pieces and to basically lay it out in a grid, and that's what gives you your 2160. And so the machine is taking that 1080p image, and yes, it's creating pixels, but it's creating pixels that are appropriate for, it knows what the letter A should look like. And so it's going to fill in the appropriate pixels based on, this is the letter A. That's why one of the images floating around on Twitter was, I think it was even a picture of, Death Stranding, somebody walking around in Death Stranding on the backpack and how clear it looked. That was the machine learning basically filling in the image and creating that crystal clear image, because it's an artificial intelligence. It's Skynet.
That takes a lot of pressure off the GPU, right? And then you're able to do bigger games, right?
It takes pressure off of the GPU, which is why it's able to do things like have more AI on screen and do this and do that.
Well, it's good for frame rates too.
Which is probably why they're getting great results with ray tracing. Then, I'm guessing. I'm not a technical guy.
That's the first argument anybody made. They're like, "How can you put ray tracing on these consoles? It's going to be a GPU hog." And then all these videos popped up about how ray tracing makes anything fall on its face. And all these companies kept saying, "We are using proprietary techniques." A proprietary technique is something that you use in-house that the public is completely unaware of, or if they are aware of it, they don't understand how it works. And that's where when they talk about in-house shading techniques, in-house compression techniques, this is stuff they don't just put out in the public for everybody to use. And that's where I laughed when they're talking about this whole ray tracing thing bogs down GPUs. I'm just like, well, you guys should sit back. You don't know. They might show you something you weren't expecting. And then lo and behold, machine learning. And guess what? It frees up the GPU to do other things like ray tracing.
You know what it was for me? That Star Wars demo back in the day. Remember they showed some kind of Star Wars, I don't know if it was a video or an image, and it was using ray tracing, and it said it took a monster powerhouse GPUs to get this image. You guys remember that back in the day?
Well, that was ray tracing at its infancy. Now the technology's changed. It's getting easier for these things to
it seems like it's more and more about the software and than it is the hardware now. It seems like you're getting to a level where it's just more software that is really pushing these machines, and not so much the turn up the wattage and everything else from what I can tell.
Well, there are certain things that we're holding back, certain aspects, I guess you could say, of games because of the hardware, whether it be like the GPU, CPU. But with next gen consoles and obviously going on to these new graphics cards, like everything that we're seeing is going leaps and bounds over what we've just experienced this past gen.
Now, what you just said, Megatron, I forget what developer said it recently, but they said that this whole thing of like going into next gen consoles, when it comes to hardware, it's starting to become an area of diminishing return. Like that's where they're starting to challenge. I remember there used to be that whole mathematical theory of to take the silicone that you make these graphics chips out of, and you can double it ever so many years. You could basically set your watch to the advancement of technology based on this algorithm. And now they're starting to find out that they're getting to a point where that's not starting to apply anymore, because it's starting to kind of plateau. That's that area of diminishing return. And that's funny where you talk about the software side of things. That's why you've seen a much more heavier push towards software, is because of this diminished return. And now you're talking about what's going to hold back, what's holding back gaming. Regretfully, this is where it's a hard pill to swallow. Regretfully, when these new consoles come out, what is holding back gaming at this point is PC. Now, I'm not saying that PC itself is holding back gaming, but what it is when you create games, the first thing you automatically do is you want to establish your what is the lowest low that game can run at on whatever hardware you're going to put it on. And generally, the PC is where you start. And that's where you get into the problem with a mechanical hard drive. Most hard drives run mechanically. They have moving parts in them. They're not an SSD. And as long as they keep creating games that are meant to run on hard drives like that, that is what's going to hold back gaming. The minute they basically start taking games and requiring games to be SSD only, that's when you're going to start seeing a major another advancement in gaming when it comes to the graphics side of things. But until they want to change that minimum spec that these games can run on, that's what's going to hold back gaming. And so at this point, what holds back games is hard drives.
Yeah, it's the same concept Megatron is, as opposed to like using cartridges over CDs or Blu-rays over CD. It's the same.
Your storage.
Yeah, it's the same concept or idea, I should say.
Absolutely.
We'll see. I mean, what's that say? What's that say for the tech that you already have in the console, though? Because then you talk about sales. If you're not going to have sales, why even do it in the first place? You get the tech and you see what the capabilities of it are, but then, the studios are held back now because there's not enough of anything to run on to run the software, right? I mean,
well, that's where you get studios like the guys who are doing the Medium and Scorn. They already came out and said that they weren't going to make their games to work on these low common denominator, even on PCs. They're basically saying for this game to run on PC, I think you need like an SSD or better, or even something on the equivalent of what's going in the Series X for it to actually run properly.
Yeah, we'll see.
No, absolutely, fellas. It's going to be interesting to see where how these graphic cards play out. I have a feeling I think AMD is going to be they're probably a little caught off guard, and I think they have some announcements of their own coming up soon, so it'll be interesting to see if they'll try and undercard Nvidia on their cards in some way, shape, or form. But when it comes to next-gen consoles, I'm not worried. Again, consoles are a different beast on their own. They're all optimized to be sitting underneath, and they're dedicated for gaming, and I'm not too worried, honestly. But fellas, we will move on to the next topic. And Xbox announced that they'll be having a presence at the Tokyo Game Show. However, they added that there will be no big next-gen announcements there. it will mostly highlight Japanese games, Minecraft, and just various flight simulator updates. Jeremy,
Yeah.
buddy, I'll start with you on this one. Is this a missed opportunity for Xbox, or do you think that they'll focus on, well, the rumored September showcase?
I look at these shows as a launch pad, basically, for customers to see what Xbox and PlayStation has to offer. I do. I do think, they do need some sort of big announcement just because it just has that impact, both from like a marketing standpoint and a strategic standpoint for sure. We know they need to make, we know they need to make headway in Japan. That's the biggest thing, kind of catering to the Asian market as well. I'm always looking at the PlayStation Store and, seeing what they have. And they have just an enormous amount of content, exclusive content, both on the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation. And yeah, it's geared towards the hardcore gamer. And I think it's part of the biggest appeal to, if you're a hardcore gamer, to go to PC, to go to Sony, to go to Nintendo, as opposed to Xbox, where they're almost irrelevant. I mean, it's getting to the point to where they're almost irrelevant in the Japanese market. But I'm always going to refer back to like the 360 days. You guys know this, where they at least tried to make an effort, tried to make headway, to make some sort of impact in those markets. You had games like Blue Dragon, you had games like Lost Odyssey from the creators of Final Fantasy. And I remember even Konami was making games for Xbox heavily. So this is just my opinion when I say, like hardcore gamers prefer Sony and Nintendo over Xbox in the world market because of those things. But it's not just the States, I would like to see a Japanese studio being purchased by Xbox, or some sort of like roadmap to see, hey, this is what's going on in the Asian market. This is what we're trying to do. And these are the plans. And we haven't got that. But granted, they have done a better job in those markets. They got Square Enix to jump on board, bringing the Final Fantasy series to Game Pass. They had the Dragon Quest series finally after just decades coming to Xbox. Even Sega's bringing over the Yakuza series, which is huge. I like the fact that, Yuji Naka, who's the creator of the Sonic the Hedgehog series, is making Balan Wonderworld. I think that's going to be a great game. So they've made some progress. However, I do think they need to purchase a Japanese company, whether it's from software or something like that, just to do better in that particular market and to appeal more to the hardcore gamer, because I do think they're missing the mark as far as that goes. Invader, for sure. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I do think every show, and I'm not talking about this show in particular, every show, they just need to do a better job with the messaging, with creating some sort of excitement for the brand. And as you know, that July showcase, to me, it missed the mark. You guys know that. We spoke about it on the show in depth. And I just think moving forward, these shows need to be more impactful, just to show why people should invest in Xbox, should invest. Yeah, you got the ecosystem or whatnot, and you have those, you have Game Pass, you have those things which appeal to people, but to me, it's not enough. And that starts with the software, starts with the games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. They're starting off the show, which is a pretty cool thing, but they're not really. You would think that they would highlight Japanese content with some of their own possible.
We lost you.
Exclusives,
Didn't they say they were going there to celebrate Japanese games? Isn't that what they said?
Well,
And
they're gonna highlight Japanese creators, so they will have Japanese games, just not necessarily exclusives, like their own like next gen exclusives, unfortunately. So my question is, are they possibly saving some announcements for? There's a rumored September event or showcase coming in just in a couple of weeks, supposedly. Could they be saving announcements for that? Because from what I'm to understand, it'll be the same week.
a couple of weeks. Yeah, I mean, you say a couple of weeks, but right now, what's today? It's almost 7th to 8th of the month. You know, the Tokyo Game Show's on the 24th, and they're opening. I hope they do something, man. I would love to bring out the old developers who made Blue Dragon and Lost Odyssey, and just say, hey, we'll start with announcing that we remaster some of these classic gems, and just start with that.
Megatron, I was curious about that because I seen updates for Lost Odyssey in my feed a couple times, thinking that it was going to get some sort of remaster or even enhanced, for that matter. As far as the August event, the September event that's rumored, we still haven't heard whether or not the Series X is even real. Yeah, we keep hearing that. Yeah, it's real, but don't you think it's a little late to the party, especially with the
Series X, or do you mean the Series S? I'm sorry to stop you.
I said the S.
No, you said X.
I heard that. You said X.
Well, I meant the S.
Okay, I got confused. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, but in my opinion, they're late to the party announcing this. They should have done it a long time ago. Sony has they haven't released the price point yet, but Sony, you already know that Sony is offering a cheaper version at the same power as just the regular PS5 console, just digital version. That's already been established. What hasn't been established is the Series S. And to me, they're late to the party. Maybe it's coming out at a later date rather than coming out this November like the Series X is. But to me, I mean, they just need to get that messaging out so we're not left in the dark.
Can we?
Go ahead.
No, if you want to keep going, I'll wait. No, the whole November thing bothers me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and that's my concern because, again, if you're going to announce it, oh, by the way, it's coming out this November alongside the Series X, we're going to have a problem. There's going to be there's going to be some sort of messaging problem. Again, the consumers are going to be
You muted yourself, or you just muted?
It's horrible. I don't know. What did you hear exactly? But anyway, I'm not going to.
You stopped
I'm not going to be. Yeah, I'm not going to be confused because I'm a hardcore gamer. I keep up on all this stuff. But if you're just a casual gamer, if you're the average Joe, you're not going to know what the Series S is because you know what, the news hasn't come out on it. So they just need to get a ball on this and get a hold of whether or not and what date that Series S is coming out.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with that sentiment because it's frustrating. We're in the first week of September, well, actually going into the second week now, and all we know is like there's been these leaks of the Xbox Series S, for example, through different, like somebody had recently purchased a controller and they got a little ad, a little promotion there for Xbox Game Pass, and it mentions the Xbox Series S.
It's there in Taco Bell ad, so you got it's everywhere.
Yeah, that was for another promotion coming as well, and it's basically it's all there. We all know it exists. It's one of the worst secrets in the industry.
Worse than Fable.
Yeah. I mean, now at least we know that Fable's legit, but
But what I'm saying is everybody knows that there's going to be 2 PS5 consoles.
Now,
they know. Go ahead.
See, like you say, everybody knows. Here's the funny, I'm not aiming. I don't think everybody knows that the date for the Series X is not set in stone. I keep hearing everybody run around with November.
They said
And-
November, didn't they? November.
No, they had.
Yeah, they said
November.
No,
No,
they said-
they did say November.
Where was this and when? Forgive me.
They
Oh.
stated it. Wasn't it Aaron Greenberg that
Yeah.
said it like last
Not a week
month?
ago.
Yeah. No,
it
it
was
was
like a
more
month
than
ago.
that. It was probably like a month ago.
Well,
Okay, if I'll
yeah.
have to dig into that to find that, because as far as I know in my mind, I've never seen anything outside the words holiday.
It was right
And that's
after.
what, and I was like, Christmas still takes place in December, so that's technically a holiday.
It was
it
right
was after
after.
the talks of a delay.
Yeah, it was
Huh?
after the
Yeah.
delay.
They're definitely going to do it before Thanksgiving, if anything. I mean, it's always
Yeah.
been around.
And
Well,
I
that's
do
where-
Friday.
I do remember that tweet by Aaron Green. He did say November.
It was
Okay,
recent.
and
It was a
that's
more
where I will
recent
believe
one,
you
which
on
was
that,
about a week
so-
ago. Right? But I mean, just a week ago. It couldn't have been more than a week where I just saw it again. And I know it was from a Microsoft executive. I think it was Larry. Now I'm going to go look. But
Now, to at least
yeah.
just say, look, we'll go with it that there was a tweet and it's November and I just missed it and I'm just over here in the bushes. Okay. For me, also though, there's a reason why they discontinued the all digital
Mhm.
and the Xbox One X. I don't think this Xbox One S is going to look anything like the other two consoles, and so that's why they don't feel there's going to be an issue with confusion. But that also goes to say people go buy cell phones all the time that look exactly alike. I'm going to tell you right now, to try to explain my dad the difference between a Samsung S10 and a Samsung 10S, a 10S or whatever, or 10, because one would have the edges you can use, the other one would not. Like, my dad would not understand that even if he showed it to me. But anyways,
Jeremy.
wow.
Oh, man.
What's up?
It's getting that noise again.
Yeah, he's muffling me out. Anyways, long story short, I'm just saying that these consoles aren't going to look anything alike, and I hope they're going to do a good job of taking out the confusion. I just want to know, how do you roll out a product that everybody knows about? Like, no offense, nobody's ever been in this situation of where there's like pretty much a virus going around affecting the entire world in ways that nobody could ever plan for. And sometimes it affects the strategy and the rollout of things. And it is curious to watch this all unfold in front of us and see how it's going to go down, because we have these companies at a stalemate on releasing the price. Microsoft's over here at a stalemate on releasing the second console that everybody knows about. I mean, this is entirely crazy.
What do you mean? What do you mean virus? Nancy Pelosi just got a blowout in
Oh,
San Francisco.
God, here
Oh,
we go.
So are we going back to what everyone's expecting with Japan, and Xbox, or?
I think there's going to be a show outside. I think they're just.
I'd be happy if they just show, if there's games that are coming out, have them show them on the Xbox Series X, and let us get excited for that. And as far as I'm concerned right now, as far as I can tell, has Sony and Nintendo announced that they were going to be there at Tokyo Game Show? I haven't seen anything yet from them.
I haven't. You know what? I haven't really looked into that aspect, to be honest. But I would say that I would like to see Xbox get a stronger foothold of any sort. I want to see them be more aggressive in that marketplace. And whether it be them remastering or remaking a few of their older, well-known Japanese titles like, what is it called? Infinite Undiscovery, Blue Dragon. There's so many little titles there.
I don't know. Infinite Discovery wasn't well received.
I
I
thought
don't
people
remember
liked
it
it.
being well received. Yeah, people liked it, but it didn't sell well, and it wasn't really well received. So I don't know.
Well,
they could have got Blue Point Games to remaster Lost Odyssey. I mean,
Yeah,
they're not
Lost
owned by
Odyssey,
Sony
yeah.
yet. So, and you see they have Demon Souls on the PS5. So that's all you had to do. Remaster a game a lot of people didn't play, and then boom,
right.
a high quality one at that. So
Yeah, it just
Demon Souls is huge.
Oh, absolutely. But I want to
no
see
one
them
played that game.
be stronger. I definitely want to see them do more in that marketplace. So with them just kind of casually approaching Tokyo Game Show, it just kind of makes me wonder what they'll be showing at this supposed event. I mean, again, hopefully...
Is this Tokyo Game Show an Inside Xbox?
No.
It's going to only be in Japanese too, by the way.
So, yeah, right? That too. Now, the only thing is, don't they try to do Inside Xbox once a month?
No, I think it's every
it's like every quarter or something like that.
Yeah. Same with the State of Plays. They're not every month.
Definitely.
Well, you don't see them announcing just an all of a sudden Inside Xbox for like the last week of September out of nowhere.
Who knows? Like, we might get to October and we still don't know the prices of these consoles.
But here's the thing. I keep saying that they have been waiting for so long to reveal the price on these consoles because I really do think it's going to be like a hot potato. Buy your Series X PS5 with a disc right now for $599. Good night. And like walk off stage.
I mean, we have to get the prices
how it went down. It's how it went down with the Xbox One X. Phil Spencer walks out on stage, tells you about the console, how much it's going to be, and leaves. Show over.
The consoles have to be on ships pretty soon, like in the next month or so to get here. So they have to announce the price this month.
Dude, with how many people have these consoles on Twitter? I mean, like, dude, literally everybody. I don't know about the PS5, but at least the Series X. These things are everywhere.
Yeah, we're not going to see a price point until 1 month until launch. So I'm looking at October. Promise you, that's my prediction. So they don't have, because every marketing campaign, if you look at throughout history, it's like a month or 2 months before release date. And that includes price point and it includes just the overall marketing strategy for the games. And that's where the highest impact of reach is in terms of marketing goes. It's not like a 6-month campaign. It's not a 3-month campaign. It's more in lines of like the 1 month, 2 month range where they just go all out in terms of marketing. And so that's where you're going to see the price point.
The end of September would be around a 2-month time frame because if they release near the end of September and they release near the end of November, that's a 2-month time frame.
Right. So we won't see it probably till the end of September, early October, even mid-October. You won't hear the price point.
And I think it's a strategy behind it. They are waiting a very long time, but it almost feels like there's a strategy to it because it's like they're getting everybody hungry, ready to spend the money on these consoles no matter the price tag because they're going to be cheaper than that GPU.
You might be hungry, but you only afford to eat what you can eat. And like I said, we've said already before, this economy has been really good for a lot of people. So the unemployment numbers are still high. You know, I think Microsoft, when it comes, you have a premium console, you have a less expensive, capable console, which will be considered next gen. The Xbox Series X, and you got xCloud and Game Pass. And to me, that's a win. And but as far as go ahead.
To put things in perspective, the unemployment right now is like at 8%, right?
Yes.
So it's as good as it was. This is COVID we're talking about during the Obama administration, which was sitting at 8%.
All right.
When Trump took over?
I just wanted to throw that in there.
The numbers are bad.
Now, when it comes to the price point, and I know everybody's hurting for money, here's the one thing I want to say. Dude, I don't even know if price is going to come into a play when it comes to certain people hurting for money, because as far as I know, the PS5 currently is invite only.
No. That's from them. That's from, if you want it to buy it from Sony, that's invite. But it's still going to be at Best Buy.
Well, yeah, I could see you saying, but I just mean like there's just going to be such a limited number of these consoles that I just really feel that.
I mean, that's always.
I think I know there's going to be a lot
limited.
I think there's going to be a lot of people that cannot afford this console right off the get-go. It's truly sad. I always champion the fact that these things should be as cheap as they possibly can be, so that way we could get as many people on board. But I think it's going to turn into more of a thing of just the availability of these consoles is going to be more of a talking point than price in the end, because I just don't think we really are prepared for the fact that these consoles are going to be hard to find this holiday season. This isn't something that you can just walk out and get or ask to have under the Christmas tree. This is something you're going to have to like plan for.
Absolutely, guys. Well, again, we'll wait and see what's around the corner. Hopefully they announce this supposed showcase at some point soon, so that we can finally put the leaks and the rumors to rest about the Xbox Series S. And you know what, going back to the Tokyo Game Show, it's disappointing that they don't have any kind of big announcements themselves, but maybe they're holding back. You never know. Guys, I'll move on to another topic. And recently, Xbox has announced Designed for Xbox accessories. It's a confirmation on what they've said about supporting Xbox accessories into further generations. However, now they've got a rather large list of third-party developers or third-party peripheral makers like Razer, Astro, Corsair, Rig, Turtle Beach, you name it. There's like a whole bunch of huge third-party manufacturers here. In fact, they've partnered with over 34 brands to be exact. Now, like, to showcase that they have these partnered accessories, they'll have a new emblem or a badge that says Designed for Xbox, a logo on the packaging. Now, Megatron, I'll head straight over to you, bud, since I know you're a big fan of controllers and other accessories. You like, collecting the special edition ones. Does this initiative help Xbox stand out by being able to bring, like, your old stuff, like what you have, into the future?
Definitely it does, man. You're talking about, I have my Astro 850s here. You got Design Lab controllers that people customize themselves. To be able to still use that and move that forward to your next console, it's definitely a win. You'll save a hell of a lot of money too. I mean, it's just it's easy. I think they did an excellent job when they were thinking this out. Most of the times when you get the new console, this doesn't fit, that doesn't fit, but now with everything going forward, you take it with you. Including your games. That's it. Like again, you're talking about the economy, and if people doesn't have that extra spending cash, you may not get everything you want, but you got, some of what you want, which is probably the console. And now you can bring your controller with you and your headset and your steering, wheel, and so on and so forth. I think it was a great move. Great move.
Yeah, this is definitely a pro-consumer move.
Mm-hmm.
The headsets. I have numerous headsets, numerous controllers, and so for me, being able to use that is important, carried over to the next console. Shock, you remember the day where third-party controllers like ruled the freaking gaming industry. You had Pelican, you had Mad Cats. This had many other, players out there. Now they're an afterthought, but now people are making super quality. And as far as the choices go, 34 choices, whether it's Turtle Beach or Astro for your headset. I just named a couple, but you got Razer for your keyboard and mouses that are compatible with the Xbox, specifically designed for your Xbox. So it's really extremely pro-consumer. And I could promise you that Sony doesn't have even close to this many partnerships, not even close. So for people, all these companies that jump on board with the Xbox and the Xbox brand, it's just beneficial. You have more options in quality. You have more options as far as price point goes, whether it's affordability or you do want the high end. You have all those options.
And you think Think about really quick what Sony's doing when you're buying direct from them with their PS5s, right? What you guys were just talking about. There's still that option. I think there's definitely a strategy where Microsoft, we've said it before, where, hey, just buy the console, at least for maybe the Series X, and you bring it home and you can still, use that same controller and you get this at a rock bottom price. To me, that's definitely something I'm thinking they're considering. So,
that being said, there's another side of the spectrum. There's the fact that you look at Sony's controller and the appeal of it. The appeal of using Sony's controller, it's different. Just like the Nintendo Switch is different, and that's the appeal, and that's part of the reason why people are going to pick up the Sony machine, because it is different.
mm-hmm.
That's the way people look at things sometimes.
Oh, true. I mean, options.
It's a way better
options. Just options.
It's a way better start than the beginning of this gen, when you had to buy that stupid headset adapter to use your like Astros or whatever Turtle Beaches. You didn't have all these like design.
Dude, that thing still comes up to this day. I still get questions about that thing.
It's still handy if you want to plug in headphones into the headphone jack and the controller.
Dude,
I think maybe the latest UI you can adjust the volume on it, but like if you don't have something like that, you can plug it in.
I don't know
and
why.
you can adjust the volume.
I don't know if it just keeps moving for me, but I can't always find it. Whenever I try to control the volume to my headset through the dashboard, that's the one thing I don't like. I always like that little clip-in piece that goes in the controller. Once I got an inline volume control on my headset, I can't. I do not like having to go into my dashboard to do that. It's an option. It's a feature that's there. It's great and everything, but for whatever reason, sometimes I can't even find it. I don't know why. If it's something you can just pin to my home, but I cannot find that little option. Maybe it's just me, man. It's just it annoys the hell out of me.
All these third party or second party, developers of this technology, they all fight for consumer part of their market, because what's happening too, you look at the Steelhead, for example, SteelSeries, for example, they came out with the Cyberpunk exclusive Cyberpunk headset. That's huge. And you see other companies kind of following suit with those exclusivity, whether it's a headset or a mouse or a keyboard. Those kind of deals are going to happen. So that's the appeal. And I think with more options for Xbox, maybe one day we'll have a Gears of War exclusive headset for the SteelSeries. Or they'll go to another company and have a Fable one or something like that. So there's different things that they can do to promote not only the brand, but also promote their products.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I just think it's a really great pro-consumer initiative that Xbox has created, not only with their own products, but just getting all these big brands on board with it. I'm honestly, I'm really impressed by what they've assembled here, and going into the future, like people just having the the frame of mind that they can bring over whatever these expensive headsets that people get for gaming just over to the next gen. Like, it is kind of comforting, right? Like, you don't have to spend, you don't have to dish out another couple $100s, whether it be for certain controllers or headset or whatever it may be. It's just, it's kind of refreshing, this initiative. Do you guys, do you think Microsoft's going to be alone on this initiative?
In terms of the sheer number, yeah. Absolutely. That's why I stated, you're not going to have near the amount of, companies on board designing for Sony. It's not going to happen. So, yeah, I think so. And with this move, Xbox has more flexibility. They have more flexibility in terms of what they can do, and they have more options for people to buy. It's definitely pro-consumer.
Mm-hmm.
If you go down this list, of who we have on this panel, we all use different technology.
Correct.
Invader, what do you use currently?
What kind of peripheral are we speaking of?
Let's go headset down the list.
Actually, I'm looking for a good headset at the moment. I'm actually in the market for one, so mine's kind of busted at the moment.
He's using his Connect.
So, no, yeah, my Connect. No, actually, I was using my the Xbox app to communicate for the past couple of months, which is really handy. But I'm kind of a bad example to use, to be honest with you.
Okay. So, Centurion, what do you like?
What?
Wow, he wasn't even paying attention.
No, I was. My wife.
He's playing Barbie's Adventure again.
No, my wife just called me. What was your question?
What headset do you use? What brand?
Oh God, really, bro? Oh,
come on, man.
I'm using Turtle Beach 600s, and I also have a set of Platronics. I know rigs. I think they're like six. I think they're the 500s. I have them around as a backup pair because the Turtle Beach ones are wireless. I hate having wires hooked up to the controller or the console. For me, I have to have a wireless headset because I am constantly moving around.
See, I prefer wired because the sound quality is a little bit better as opposed to wireless, in my opinion.
Well, I do know that there is that. But I, when I'm not playing playing on headset with people, I have a sound bar that, I prefer to game on. And that's where and the funny thing is, the reason why I bought the rigs was because I wanted the Dolby Atmos code that was inside them. And also have a backup pair of headphones just in case these ones, the battery dies or they break. But I definitely want to get a pair of Astros eventually. I did look at the Cyberpunk Steel series. I mean, I really was thinking about getting those Steel series, but there's nothing wrong with my Turtle Beaches right now. So I was just like, what, I'll just wait until something goes wrong with them. But I mean, wireless is the way to go if I'm constantly doing something.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Guys, I just got to sneak in here. Thank you, JD Gamer, for the $5 super chat. He states, Microsoft should also release Xbox Voice and Upload Studio for creators. After all, the Xbox Series X will be powered by a fast CPU and GPU, and it would be very pro-consumer. Oh, absolutely, man. That would be absolutely fantastic.
And I just wanted to add on because I heard what Megatron was talking about, how he can never find the mixer and stuff when he uses like a wired headset. That the best adapter I ever found for the bottom of controllers, so you don't have to use the dashboard mixer ever, is I have a keyboard that I've used for years that I plug into the bottom of my controller, and it has the mixer built right into the keyboard, and all you do is play with it. And it's a light up keyboard. And the thing was, it was the chat set that Microsoft put out. Does everybody remember those? It came with
the little puck.
Yeah. Well, it's like a keyboard that plugs in the bottom of the controller, and it came with like a chat headset that was cheap as all get out. You were basically paying for the keyboard.
But I remember the OG headsets you used to get in when you bought the console.
See, that was the headset that this thing came with, was the one ear. And the funny part is, I had a friend who actually traded me a full-blown brand new set of just normal Turtle Beaches for that one ear microphone, because he's like, dude, I have full-blown surround sound in my house. I really only want that small headset. Give it to me.
That means he's got no wife or kids to disturb or neighbors, because that's why I I had to resort to the headset.
Man with nothing but a dog in the house. That dude, you go into his place. I mean, oh man, surround sound everywhere. This guy's got like a massive 80-some inch freaking OLED. I mean, dude, and this is like the guy I work with. So.
Oh man. Well,
I know you were on to something, Jeremy, because you were asking everybody about the headsets. You're trying to make a point,
Well, just trying to make the point, having those options available. I use a different headset. I use a different keyboard and mount. I don't match, basically. I'm a cross dresser. So
I definitely
you heard it here, folks.
I believe you. I definitely believe you. To that, man.
I'm joking, but I'm using a freaking
when he hears this.
Yeah, I'm using a Razer controller, a Razer mouse, and a Red Dragon keyboard, and I have different brands, and I think that's you just have different options of what you prefer. Some people like what Apple does in their, in their ecosystem.
Nobody likes Apple right now. There's no excuse.
Yeah, I know.
Move on.
Speaking of that, dude, Epic is just destroying them. Oh my god!
See it. They're asking the court right now to bring things back on to Apple until they figure it out. Right, from what I saw last time on Twitter somewhere I read on Twitter.
Epic Games has turned Apple advertising around on them by I forget what it was. It was something that they did like to get like it was an advertisement Apple did a long time ago or something to get people to switch to Apple. And now they're it's because people are like, if you're looking for something away from like closed systems, go to Apple. But now all of a sudden Apple is exactly what they advertised. That came out by Epic. Epic Games also championed Fortnite. No, wait, it wasn't who championed Fortnite? No, not Fortnite. That's right. It was PUBG. Epic Games came out and basically backed PUBG because PUBG is built on Unreal Engine, and Apple is trying to shut down the access to the Unreal Engine on iOS. And right now, Apple is in this big marketing campaign with PUBG. So by using the PUBG marketing campaign against them,
for Apple to do that, it's silly because they're just missing out. I guarantee you, Fortnite has generated millions of dollars for Apple, millions upon millions of dollars for Apple, and just they threw away that. So I don't really understand it, but
yeah, it's pretty crazy, that's for sure. Just this fight between them is well, it's epic to say the least, no pun intended. But even Microsoft, joined the fight in backing Epic, which is you got all the big players just kind of joining in. It's just really interesting to see how everything's unfolding. Guys, we will move quickly to our last topic of the evening. Probably won't spend too much time on it, but Nintendo recently had a Mario Direct for Mario's 35th anniversary. And hey, guess what, guys? Surprise, surprise. A whole bunch of new Mario products were announced. Everything from Super Mario, Monopoly.
Jesus, Jeremy.
Yeah,
he must be. I think he's shampooing the carpet,
moving furniture around, or he's got a poltergeist or something. Like it's just something's moving in his house. I need to turn your camera on. We wouldn't see. We deserve to see what's going on.
I think it's my headset cord that is not wireless, Centurion.
But
yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, there was a whole bunch of new stuff announced from for this event, like Super Mario Monopoly, Super Mario Jenga, a whole crap load of different stuff. But Nintendo did announce Super Mario 3D All-Stars. It's a bundle of classic games, including Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy for $60. They're doing, I guess, a remaster and all of them. They're all touched up a little bit from the sounds of it. Shockley, I'll go to you first on this one, bud. Is this bundle worth $60? Because I've seen it, and I don't know. I'm just, personally, I'm not too impressed by it.
Shocky wasn't either. I didn't see any. I saw part of the video.
My headset died right when I did that. But no, are you talking about the package?
Yeah, the Super Mario.
It's a bundle of joy, Shock. It's the bundle of joy.
No, I think it's pretty sweet. Like they did upres or give it new textures for Mario 64. So even though I have the Ultra HDMI mount on my N64 that can output 1080p for that game, it's still like pixelated, whereas they gave it all HD textures. The only thing I'm sad about is that it's not 60 FPS. When someone, I guess, I don't know if they data mined or ones that had a hack switch, there is a 60 FPS build of that game on the Switch, but they stuck with 30. So that's kind of disappointing because Galaxy is 60, but the other two aren't. And the only Sunshine and Galaxy are widescreen, whereas 64 isn't. But I mean, it's a good package. It's just kind of BS doing that limited release. Even digital is limited apparently until March 31st. So I guess what they're probably going to do is do like a N64, like they did with the NES, Super NES, for the online. So you have to have the online to play any of the N64 games, and that's probably going to be one of them. So that's my guess. But
Hey, real quick, Shock. So how many games are in this package? I didn't see any of this.
3.
64, Sunshine, and Galaxy One.
Oh, okay.
$60. It's not bad. It's
That
a
sounds
good.
great.
I'm
good
actually,
I like Sunshine.
Dude,
I
Sunshine.
missed those two.
Oh my god.
I missed those two, but I played the hell out of Mario 64, and the fact that those two games are in there, I'm sorry for someone like me. That to me, it's totally worth $60, and my wife has even already seen it too, and she said for sure we're getting it. And dude, I mean, I totally want to replay Mario 64 and experience those other two games. Just wanted to put that in there quickly.
Sunshine is my favorite out of the entire series of Mario games. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. That and Super Mario. Yeah. Super Mario 2 is my second favorite, but nobody likes Super Mario 2. I like it. But Sunshine, man, that tugs on my heartstrings because I remember that game. You know, and just the gameplay in it, the fact that you had that water pack, the different gameplay elements in it. And I'm looking for it. I think it's worth that $60 for sure.
Right, definitely.
Well, it's just one of
I'm
those
excited
things.
about the pins that they're giving away.
Oh yeah. It's just one of those things, though, guys. I see Microsoft and Sony, they put a lot of effort into their remasters and remakes, and I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I wish that they would have given at least Super Mario 64 some kind of an update. I mean, I think I've seen some fan remakes of it, and they look fantastic.
On PC, you can play the game, and it has the whole mod. It makes it look like a modern game. Kind of looks like if you played Odyssey. They kind of tease you. They give you like this Peach's Castle from like 64 like island, where it's almost like a replica of it. So they give you that tease, and they're like, "Nah, we're just gonna give you the regular one."
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it just seems like a very quick kind of turnout for this. I look at Nintendo's lineup going into the fall. Actually, this year, besides Animal Crossing, New Leaf, which was absolutely massive for them, they haven't really pushed out a lot of other games this year, have they? To my knowledge.
No, since Fiction got delayed, that was going to be the later game. This probably would have came out earlier, but since that got delayed, they're probably like, well, we need something probably later in the fall.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not really too like. I love these games. Don't get me wrong, especially Super Mario 64. I could play the hell out of that game, but it's just I would love to have a mode where it's like I could flick on like awesome, like updated textures and graphics and resolution, and then go back.
The funny thing is, the DS version it has better textures. If you go back and play it, it looks like you're a completely different looking Mario.
Yeah.
So it's funny they couldn't just take that one and remaster it, because then that would have looked like, from what people remember, because there's probably a lot of people that just didn't play the DS one or don't remember it, or what they look like.
Yeah.
So if they remaster that, then you probably, I don't know if that's just way more difficult.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. Like, I see them put in all kinds of effort, but it's just one of those things, man. But I don't know. Do any of you guys plan on picking it up when it releases? I think it comes out next month.
I've already reserved it.
Pre-ordered it.
Yeah.
Less than 2 weeks. So.
Wow.
Very nice. Well, Centurion, you need to get on board on that. I know your Switch is collecting dust.
Is there a limited edition on that at all, or limited book or anything?
Limited edition. Damn.
No, it's just you open it up and there's nothing inside except the cart. So they couldn't even miss the boat on that. I'm like, you had the Sonic package where it had the whole booklet and artwork for the Sonic whatever it's called, the one that was kind of like the retro pack that Sonic Mania, yeah. And you could buy the one with the booklet and the artwork, but nothing special for this one.
until Limited Run comes out with their own version. No, I was kidding.
That's the only thing I hate. I still haven't gotten Panzer. Did you get your Panzer Dragoon?
No, they delayed it. I returned mine, so I'm getting the space. I don't know why. Don't ask me why, but Space Channel 5 Collector's Edition for the PlayStation 4. Yeah, looking forward to that one.
Nice. Yeah, well, again, I'm not trying to, like, get down on Nintendo. It's just, I guess I was expecting a little more from them personally. But it is nice that they are doing a package of these games. Actually, I could see them doing other packages in the future if this one's really successful. You know, so.
Nintendo's been like this forever, Invader. I mean, they've come out with, maybe 2 or 3 games a year. Your constants are the Pokemon series. That's not going to stop. And then, maybe, okay, let's do 3 or 4 games, an entire year. And then after that, it's just like silence for a year or 2. We still don't know when Metroid's coming out.
Well, Metroid is... Well, they rebooted working on it. They gave it to a new developer, and they're redoing it from scratch. I remember them actually making a big statement about it. That was, 2 years ago? So maybe in another 2 years we'll find out something about it. So I'm looking forward. Yeah, Metroid Prime 4. So actually they're holding back actually the trilogy too, if I'm not mistaken. So I was looking forward to that.
They're probably limited to.
No doubt.
You know what I learned watching the gameplay loop? You're pretty bad at Vermintide.
Oh my gosh! I'm not really paying attention. I see it; it's great to look at. Other than but I just pay attention.
I give to you Jeremy Downer.
I don't know what you're talking about. This was early gameplay for me. I was just playing it with a buddy.
Excuses, Canadian.
Dude,
JD Gamer,
you should
thank
see
you.
me on Tony Hawk Pro Skater right now. I spend more time off the board.
All right, that's it, Jeremy.
JD Gamer, thank you so much for the super chat, bro. He wants Panzer Dragoon Saga remake. A lot of people talk about that game and definitely want that back, man. So
game goes for a cool $1,000 on.
It's never ever gonna happen. The code's completely gone out of existence. I think the code is I think they only have 25% of the code or something. They're just gonna have to make it up.
Well, they don't really need it. Like you look at Panzer Dragoon, they remade it, so it looks completely different.
Yeah.
There's some geometry they had to change and stuff, so I'm sure they can still do it. But.
That's my. If there was one game I could pick that I would want released, that'd be the one game, Panzer Dragoon Saga.
For Sega, though. I would. Yeah. I want to see. Ocarina of Time remade. I want Nintendo to do that since we're on Nintendo.
I mean, they kind of already did on the DS, like the whole completely different models, like character models or texture models.
That I never knew.
Yeah, if you play that, and it's completely. It's
because I have a sealed copy I never opened.
So
re-released it.
Okay. If you play it on the DS, it's it's completely different character models.
Now, can I ask a question of you, Shockley? Do you think with this release of these Mario games like this, you won't put it back? You want to put it past Nintendo to all of a sudden release like an Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask combo?
Probably. I'm hoping they do. That's the last 2. I'll probably
I take that back. I take that back. It would be Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and Wind Waker. That's
I want a Wind Waker re-release.
I still have mine.
I have one for. That's why I kept my Wii U because I have Wind Waker on the Wii U.
That and the Twilight Princess is on there in HD, so they're kind of stuck on the Wii U. So hopefully I'm sure they will because they Wii U titles, so they'll port them over eventually.
Skyward Sword was was announced to be coming back, right?
Plus, they could charge full $60 for Wind Waker and separately Twilight Princess. and they just sell millions.
I have Twilight Princess emulated on my phone, and it works great. Yeah, pretty cool.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I think actually Switch games are emulated on. I think there's a Switch emulator you can put on your phone now that does pretty well.
Well, it's the GameCube one. So I have Twilight
Oh, okay.
Princess and Wind Waker on my phone.
mhm.
It's called Dolphin, the Dolphin emulator.
Oh,
Works great, and it works great.
It's called what?
The Dolphin.
Dolphin.
Dolphin emulator.
That, if true story, that was the original code name for the Nintendo console. That's why they called it the Dolphin. True story.
The more you know.
But you think look at Sony and Microsoft, they are doing backwards compatibility. I don't think it's going to happen, but do you think all these digital purchases people have been doing on the Switch aren't going to go with them? To whatever the next Switch Pro or whatever the next.
No, Nintendo makes you buy shit all over again.
They'll never
So
never
bad,
change.
man.
They
That
will never do.
sucks.
Yeah, it's sad. That's the only reason I don't want to go full in on digital with them. But
Mhm.
So,
man, they need to fix their emulation too. Like their NES, I was trying to play Super Mario Brothers 3 on the NES version, and when you try to go to the right and you go too fast, you start running. You can see the edge of the screen just like clipping. I'm like, how is this possible? You're $1 billion company. You guys can't figure out emulation.
Yeah, no idea, bud. No idea. It's pretty crazy. I would love to see Nintendo do some more pro-consumer moves, but I don't know. They're kind of behind there. Okay, guys. I think on that note, we're gonna end off the show. And hey, I gotta say thank you to everybody in the chat for sticking with us. Obviously, we had some turbulence, some hiccups earlier, and just thank you for keeping with us and tuning in. We really appreciate it. We unveiled our new layout, and obviously we talked about some Xbox leaks, the Tokyo Game Show,
Watch some of your shitty gameplay.
Well, hey Jeremy, you can definitely supply us with some of your sweet moves for the next one. All right?
Nope, not happening.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You see,
Nah,
everybody.
I'm gonna try to get you some Tony Hawk stuff. Hopefully, I can get this whole figuring out the physics of this game again, man.
Yeah, we got Tony Hawk
And watch The Boys.
We got the Avengers that
Watch
was
the first
released.
episode.
Wasteland 3. We can do some of that gameplay. That'd be cool to see people playing that. And you guys pick that up or no?
Yeah, I've played a little bit of Wasteland 3 so far early on. It's good. It's good.
Yeah. it's pretty
Somehow, Downer and some friends of mine, Mass Mayhem and Gingerbeard and Stubbs Gaming, helped to push me off that cliff, and I bought Avengers, and I bought Tony Hawk Pro Skater as soon as that game came out.
Nice.
Nice, dude. Nice. But yeah, guys, again, thanks for staying with us. If you enjoyed the show, everybody, then please definitely send out a like, share it out, and subscribe to keep up to for further TXR shows. Let's get to some panel member outros. I'll head to Megatron first, buddy. Where can everybody find you at?
Hey, as always, man, you can hit me up on Twitter and talk about anything and everything Megatron, including gaming, Megatron_1975. And if you want to play some games, also message me. My gamer tag is Megatron1. So yeah, that's it. If you want to help me get some of this these armor sets that I'm doing on Destiny, feel free to join me tonight because I'll be up all night and Mike drowned me out because I would wrap my cord around his neck. Oh my gosh!
Why do you gotta be so violent for? Why do you gotta be so violent?
It's politics.
Definitely, buddy. Definitely. All right. Speaking of which, Jeremy, we'll move on to you next. Where can everybody follow you at, bud?
On Xbox, Downer Space J. You can also find me on PlayStation. It's Green Knight 07.
All right, perfect. Shockley, buddy, great show. Where can everybody follow you at?
Yeah, as always, you can find me at Shock Nero on Twitter, Easy Shock on Xbox Live. But yeah, good show. Thanks for sticking with us through the technical difficulties. Hopefully, we'll be right on time on the jump with no issues next week. But yeah, good show.
Yeah, I'm very hopeful, Shock. I think we've ironed out quite a few things. And Centurion Pal, I'll end off with you. Where can everybody follow you at?
Oh, man. You can always find me here every Sunday kicking it with these fine gentlemen. You can also find me on the Shop Podcast every Saturday. But I can also be located right here on YouTube, Twitter, and Xbox Live at Centurion1307.
So much energy.
Perfect. He's like the Energizer Bunny. But then again,
dude, I do keep going. Regretfully, I want everybody to know I love everybody here because I get to chew on their ear sometimes, and I feel so horrible.
No worries, buddy.
Say what?
Dude,
No.
I am like the Mike Tyson of party chat.
Right.
Nice. Bite your ear off. All right, guys, and of course, last but not least, I'm Invader, and you can follow all my content over on YouTube at Invader Gaming. As well, you can catch me on Twitter at Invader_1986. Guys, I know, we had some growing pains at first earlier on in the show, but it turned out to be an excellent episode tonight, and we look forward to seeing you all over on our show next Sunday. Good night, everyone, and take it easy.